And prosecutors in Manhattan are celebrating a big win today after a judge ruled that they can use some key evidence during the upcoming state trial, of the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO. That's Luigi Mangione in court a little earlier as a judge ruled that police's initial search of Mangione's backpack was, in his words, improper and warrantless. That search happened here at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where police arrested Mangione in connection with the murder of Brian Thompson. This is body camera video from that day. The judge said that the search of the backpack after that initial arrest back at Altoona's police headquarters, that it was okay. And that's where police found these key pieces of evidence, including a gun, a silencer, and the notebook prosecutors have called Mangione's manifesto. Mangione's state trial is set to start in September. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges in that case and at the federal level. Let's bring in NBC's legal analyst Misty Marris for more on this. I mean, Misty, take us through what happened here, because this ruling, it does differ a bit, right, from what we saw at the state level. Some key pieces of evidence, kind of the biggest, I think a lot of people would say, are going to be allowed in. But this ruling was very different than what maybe people were expecting if they were basing off of what we'd seen at the state level.
Right, because the federal court is letting all of this evidence in. So you have a difference between what is being let in at the state and federal. Yeah. And what's key is that the law is different on the federal side as opposed to the state side. The federal law is the bare minimum protections that every individual has, whereas the state can actually offer more. So here we saw a mixed result, whereas on the federal level, that all of that evidence is coming in.
Flipped my court terminology on that, but take us through to what this means moving forward in terms of how prosecutors will advance from here. Is this a moment where they are going to have to regroup, or are they going to proceed as planned?
So, Ellison, what I think is really interesting is that the two key pieces, as you said, you have the gun, which prosecutors say is the murder weapon. So that's super important. That's coming in. You also have the notebook, which prosecutors call a manifesto, speaking very, very specifically to intent. But some of the things that are not coming in, magazine, cell phone, passport, wallet, computer chip. Think about this, cell phone. Who cares about the phone itself, but what was on it? Was that something that was super consequential to the prosecutor's case? Geolocation data, emails, text messages, whatever that might be, we don't know. Computer chip, I think the same thing, was something extracted from that would have been important. Passport, well, part of the prosecution's argument, we anticipate, will be that he was on the getaway. He was trying to get away after this. And that will be used to show consciousness of guilt. So some of these key pieces of evidence that are tossed out, while maybe not the most important because you got that notebook and you've got that gun, they still could have a consequential impact on the way the prosecutors move forward in this trial.
In a lot of ways, too, it seemed like the state judge was saying this search wasn't necessary, right? You had police saying we were concerned there could have been a bomb in it, and they were basically like, well, you didn't clear the area. Also, they seemed to argue, that judge seemed to come to the conclusion that because there were so many police officers around Luigi Mangione, and they said he was cooperating, they described him as compliant, respectful at times, that negated the need to search when they did. Is that a fair read?
It's absolutely a fair read. And what the judge was really looking at, and remember, this was a very a thorough suppression hearing, right? You're 3 weeks, 17 witnesses, and a lot of that body cam footage. So when you have a warrantless search, a warrant is the general rule. You need a warrant to conduct a search, but there's tons of exceptions. The one that relates to the McDonald's search is called exigent circumstances. There's an emergency. There's the possibility there's something on Luigi Mangione's person that is dangerous. Well, the judge said, based on all of these circumstances, and specifically the body cam footage, that is just not the case. And so, therefore, that search is improper, whereas back at the station, an inventory search, different exception to that warrant rule.
And to be clear, again, this is a ruling in the state charges that he faces. Federal charges, everything that they obtained in those searches in the backpack, that's admissible in federal court.
Correct.
All right. NBC's Misty Marris, thank you so much. We appreciate it.